Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me now, because what I'm about to say has the power to transform not just your relationships, but your entire life. There is a reason why some women seem to command attention without saying a word. There is a reason why some women walk into a room and men can't help but turn their heads, drawn to them like ships to a lighthouse. And there is a reason why, no matter how hard you try, chasing a man never brings him closer. It only makes him run. Today, I'm going to reveal to you a powerful truth, one that has been overlooked, ignored, and even denied. A truth that, when embraced, will change the way men see you, pursue you, and desire you. Men can't resist women who detach. Why? Because true power is not in holding on. It is in knowing when to let go. When a woman clings, when she makes a man the center of her world, she loses herself. She trades her mystery for desperation, her strength for dependence, and her power for pleading. But when she stands firm, when she moves with confidence, when she knows that she is enough, with or without him, that is when she becomes truly irresistible. Some of you have been chasing. Some of you have been begging. Some of you have been waiting by the phone, hoping for a text, hoping for a sign, hoping that if you just love him harder, if you just prove yourself more, he will finally see your worth. But let me tell you, a man will never value what he believes he can always have. The woman who detaches does not play games. She is not cold or cruel, but she understands one thing clearly. She is the prize, and she will not lower herself to beg for what is already meant for her. So stay with me, because by the end of this message, you will walk away with a new understanding of your worth. You will see why emotional independence is the key to attraction. And most importantly, you will discover how to break free from the cycle of chasing and step into the power of being pursued. Because when a woman stops running after a man, that's when he starts running after her. The power of detachment is a force that reshapes the way a woman is perceived, not just by men, but by the world. It is not about arrogance, nor is it about indifference. It is about knowing your worth so deeply that you do not feel the need to prove it to anyone. When a woman masters the art of detachment, she stops seeking validation, and in doing so, she becomes magnetic. Men are drawn to women who possess an air of self-sufficiency, not because they are unattainable, but because they radiate a sense of fulfillment that does not depend on external approval. A woman who detaches understands that her happiness does not rest in the hands of a man, nor does her sense of security come from his affection. She does not wait for his texts with anxious anticipation. She does not mold herself into what she thinks he wants. She does not sacrifice her standards in a desperate attempt to keep him. Instead, she moves through life with confidence, knowing that her value is not diminished if he stays, nor is it increased if he leaves. She is a woman who chooses herself first, and in doing so, she becomes irresistible. Men are wired to seek, to pursue, to conquer. But what happens when the prize they desire does not bend to their will? What happens when they sense that a woman's world does not revolve around them? They become intrigued. They become drawn in. The challenge excites them because deep down they respect what they cannot control. A woman who detaches does not do so to manipulate, but her very nature forces a man to step up if he wants to be in her presence. She does not chase, nor does she beg. She simply stands firm, and by doing so, she compels him to prove himself. Detachment does not mean the absence of love. It does not mean a woman does not care. On the contrary, it means she understands the difference between love and dependency. She loves freely, but she does not attach herself to the outcome. She enjoys the presence of a man, but she does not tie her worth to his attention. She embraces connection, but she does not fear its loss. And because of this, she remains in control, not of him, but of herself. That is the power of detachment. The irresistible mystery of a woman who detaches is something that captivates the mind of a man in ways that words cannot fully explain. It is not about playing games, nor is it about pretending to be someone she is not. It is about understanding that mystery is born out of self-possession, and the most alluring women are the ones who do not reveal every piece of themselves too soon. When a woman holds on to her individuality, her dreams, and her sense of purpose, she becomes a world of her own. One that a man is desperate to explore. Men are not drawn to what is predictable. They are not captivated by what they can easily figure out. When something is fully known, it is no longer exciting. It loses its spark, its intrigue, its hold on the imagination. But when a woman remains slightly unpredictable, when she carries herself in a way that suggests there is always more to discover, she becomes unforgettable. A man cannot resist the woman whose essence is not fully grasped, whose emotions are not easily read, whose presence leaves him wondering what lies beneath the surface. A woman who detaches does not pour out her entire soul in the first conversation. She does not rush to declare her feelings, nor does she demand validation at every turn. She does not smother with constant texts or overwhelming affection. Instead, she allows space for curiosity, space for pursuit, space for a man to lean in and try to understand her. And in that space, something powerful happens. He begins to chase. He begins to wonder. He begins to see her not as someone he has conquered, but as someone he wants to earn. Mystery is not about silence, nor is it about being distant. It is about keeping a part of yourself reserved, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. It is about understanding that a woman who has her own life, her own passions, her own sense of adventure, will always be more captivating than one who makes a man the center of her existence. She is a story he wants to keep reading, a puzzle he wants to solve, an experience he does not want to end. The moment a man feels that he fully possesses a woman, he no longer feels the need to fight for her. But when a woman maintains a level of detachment, not as a tactic, but as a natural extension of her self-worth, he finds himself unable to resist her. He sees her as something rare, something valuable, something he does not want to lose. And in that moment, the power shifts. Not in a way that makes her superior, but in a way that makes her Scarcity creates value, and this truth is deeply woven into the fabric of human nature. What is easily available is often taken for granted, but what is rare becomes precious. This principle applies to relationships just as much as it does to wealth, opportunity, and success. When a woman gives too much of herself too soon, her time, her energy, her emotions, she unknowingly diminishes her perceived value, not because she is not worthy, but because she has made herself too easily accessible. But when she learns the power of detachment, when she understands that her presence is not something to be freely given to just anyone, she immediately becomes more desirable. Men do not chase what is handed to them. They chase what they feel could slip away. The more a woman invests in a man before he has truly earned it, the less he feels the need to pursue her. It is not because he does not care, but because he has not been given the space to desire. Desire grows in absence, not in excess. When a man knows that a woman will always be available, will always say yes, will always accommodate him, He no longer sees her as a prize. He sees her as a given, and what is given is never truly valued. A woman who understands scarcity does not play hard to get. She genuinely is hard to get, not because she is trying to manipulate, but because she values her own time and energy. She is selective. She does not allow just anyone into her space. She does not rearrange her life for a man who has yet to prove his intentions. She does not overextend herself to gain his approval. Instead, she moves with purpose, with dignity, and with the quiet confidence of knowing that she is not desperate for love. Love is desperate for her. This is why men cannot resist a woman who detaches. She does not flood him with constant attention, nor does she seek his validation at every turn. She understands that space creates attraction, that distance fuels desire. She does not feel the need to remind a man of her worth. Her absence will do that for her. And when she does give her attention, when she does allow herself to be vulnerable, it carries weight because it is not given freely. It is given selectively, intentionally, meaningfully. A man values what he believes he could lose. And when a woman embodies detachment, when she refuses to make a man the center of her world before he has proven himself worthy, she forces him to recognize her worth. She becomes rare, and in rarity, there is power. The pitfall of overattachment is one of the most dangerous traps a woman can fall into, not just in relationships, but in life itself. It begins with good intentions, with love, with excitement, with a natural desire to connect. But slowly, without realizing it, a woman starts centering her world around a man, his words, his actions, his approval. She becomes more focused on keeping him than on keeping herself. And in that moment, the balance shifts. She is no longer the prize. She is the pursuer. She is no longer the mystery. She is the one waiting. And nothing makes a man pull away faster than feeling that he is being clung to rather than chosen. Men do not respond to pressure. They respond to freedom. The moment a woman begins over-investing, texting too often, giving too much, making too many sacrifices before they are warranted, she unknowingly creates an energy of neediness, and neediness is the opposite of attraction. A man does not desire a woman who seems desperate for his love. He desires a woman whose love is valuable because it is not given to just anyone. He does not want to feel trapped by expectations before he is ready. He wants to feel inspired to chase because he senses her worth. Over-attachment drains a woman of her power. It leads to insecurity because when a woman's emotions are dependent on a man's actions, she is no longer in control of her own happiness. If he pulls away, she panics. If he is distant, she overcompensates. If he does not respond how she expects, she questions her worth. And in doing so, she loses the very essence of what makes her attractive in the first place. Her confidence, her independence, her sense of self. A woman who detaches does not do so out of coldness, but out of wisdom. She understands that love should never come at the cost of self-respect. She knows that a man is more drawn to a woman who chooses him freely rather than one who clings out of fear. She recognizes that if she overinvests too soon, she will not receive more love in return. She will only push him further away. And so, she holds her own. She does not chase, nor does she beg. She lets him feel her absence, lets him see that she is whole, with or without him. When a woman masters detachment, she stops fearing loss. She stops seeking constant reassurance. She stops trying to force something that should flow naturally. And when she does not lose love. She gains respect, admiration, and the power to be truly pursued. True confidence and fake confidence may look similar on the surface, but the difference between the two is unmistakable. A woman who possesses real confidence moves through life with a quiet assurance that does not need to be announced. She does not chase, she does not beg, and she does not lower her standards for the sake of keeping a man interested. She knows who she is, and because of that, men cannot resist her. On the other hand, fake confidence is nothing more than a mask. It is loud, it is forced, and it is built on external validation rather than genuine self-worth. A woman who is only pretending to be confident may seem strong at first, but beneath the surface, she is still waiting for a man to choose her. A woman with true confidence does not feel the need to prove her worth to anyone. She does not engage in games, nor does she manipulate to gain attention. She does not say, "I don't need a man," while secretly hoping one will chase her. She simply knows that whether a man stays or goes, she remains whole. And because of that, she exudes a kind of energy that draws people in effortlessly. Men are naturally drawn to women who seem unshaken, who carry themselves with grace, who do not demand attention but naturally receive it because of their presence. Fake confidence, however, comes from a place of insecurity. It manifests in exaggerated independence, in overcompensation, in trying too hard to appear unaffected. A woman with fake confidence may act as if she does not care, but her actions tell another story. She checks her phone constantly. She plays mind games. She pretends to be busy when she is not. She is not truly detached. She is just pretending to be. And men can sense this. They can feel when a woman is genuinely at peace with herself and when she is simply putting on an act to make them chase. A truly confident woman understands the power of detachment because she does not base her happiness on whether a man chooses her. She chooses herself first. She does not become cold or distant, nor does she push love away. She simply does not attach herself to the outcome. She loves freely, but she does not cling. She gives, but she does not overextend. She invests, but only in those who invest in her. This is the difference between true confidence and fake confidence. One comes from within, while the other is built on the fragile foundation of external validation. And when a woman learns to embody true confidence, she becomes the kind of woman men cannot resist. The reward of self-possession is something that cannot be measured in words alone, yet it is felt in every aspect of a woman's life. When a woman masters detachment, she steps into a level of power that changes the way men see her, the way the world treats her, and most importantly, the way she sees herself. She is no longer at the mercy of a man's attention, his choices, or his approval. She does not wait for his text to feel wanted. She does not need his validation to feel beautiful. She does not seek his commitment to feel secure. She is secure because her sense of self is not something she is willing to trade for fleeting affection. A woman who possesses herself fully is rare, and rarity breeds attraction. She is not easily swayed by emotions, nor does she act out of fear. She does not beg for love because she understands that real love is never something that must be begged for. If a man values her, he will pursue her, not because she manipulates him into doing so, but because her very essence demands respect. She does not operate from a place of scarcity, fearing that if she lets go, she will never find love again. She knows love is abundant, and she trusts that what is meant for her will never require her to betray herself. This kind of woman does not see relationships as a source of her worth, but as an addition to an already fulfilling life. She continues to grow, to dream, to pursue her passions, regardless of who is or isn't in her life. And this makes her irresistible, because nothing is more attractive than a woman who is whole on her own. Men are drawn to her not because she needs them, but because she chooses them. and that choice is powerful. A man who senses that a woman's love is freely given but never desperate will fight to keep her. He will not take her for granted because he knows that she does not stay out of fear but out of genuine desire. When a woman reaches this level of detachment, she is free. Free from anxiety, from desperation, from the exhausting cycle of chasing and proving. She no longer feels the need to convince a man of her worth because her actions already speak for her. She knows that the right man will recognize her value without her having to force it. And in that freedom, she finds something greater than love. She finds herself. When a woman masters detachment, she unlocks a level of power that transforms not only her relationships, but her entire life. She is no longer chasing, pleading, or proving. She is simply being, and in her being, she commands respect, admiration, and devotion. She does not operate from fear, nor does she settle for less than she deserves. She understands that real love is not built on need, but on choice, and she refuses to lose herself for the sake of keeping a man. Men cannot resist a woman who detaches because she is rare. She does not beg for attention, she commands it without effort. She does not seek validation, she radiates it from within. She does not overinvest too soon. She allows a man to rise to the occasion and prove himself worthy. And in doing so, she shifts the entire dynamic. No longer waiting to be chosen, but standing in her power and allowing the right man to choose her because she has first chosen herself. So, to every woman listening, stop chasing, stop clinging, stop fearing that if you let go, love will not find you. True love is never found in desperation. It is found in strength, in confidence, in self-possession. Be the woman who knows her worth. Be the woman who does not attach herself to outcomes, but trusts that what is meant for her will come effortlessly. And when you become that woman, you will never have to chase again. The right man will recognize your value and fight to be part of your world, because men can't resist a woman who detaches.